Hey, how's it going everyone? This is the Anime Man. Welcome to another episode of Joey Does Reviews. In this episode, I will be reviewing the anime series Tokyo Ghoul. Now, this series is a horror, supernatural, adventure, psychological, thriller. Pretty much there's a whole bunch of shit just thrown together to make this action-packed, awesome anime series, which I'm sure a lot of you psychological horror and supernatural fans will enjoy. But first things first, let's get to the synopsis. Tokyo Ghoul is set in modern day Tokyo, where Tokyo is inhabited by these mysterious humanoid creatures called ghouls, which feast on humans. Now, Tokyo is having a terrible problem at the moment where these ghouls are running amok, killing people or eating people. Now, the story follows this normal high school student called Kaneki Ken, who encounters a beautiful girl at a bookstore called Rise-san. Now, he is naturally attracted to her, and she kind of seems to want to, try to talk to Kaneki as well. They end up talking to each other at a bookstore many times, and one time he decides to walk her home. It's a late night, and he thinks, I'm going to be a gentleman. I'm going to walk this fine lady home. And when he does walk her home, he ends up finding out that Rise-san is actually a ghoul herself. And although Kaneki almost comes close to death, a freak occurrence causes Rise-san to just die. She screws up. She dies. And now Kaneki wakes up from the hospital to find out that his body has been reconstructed and melded with Rise-san, the ghoul. As a result, Kaneki has turned into the first ever half-human, half-ghoul. So he has human features, but he also has ghoul features. So he's very much like a human, except the fact that he wants to eat people. And because he's still human on the inside, he's in this dilemma of, I want to eat a human because the ghoul side is telling me I want to feast on humans, but the human side of me is telling me that is just morally wrong and I will never fall into it. And Kaneki runs into all sorts of troubles and terrors along the way as his friends try to cover up for his shit, and he tries to cover up for everybody else's shit, even though he doesn't quite successfully do it. So what you can pick up from the synopsis, hopefully, is this kind of moral of, what is human? What does it take to be human? And what is not human but okay? It's very actually deep. There's the underlying meaning behind it. I think the original author of the manga series, Ishida Sui, wanted to put his feelings of, I think there was a little bit of racism in there, because within the story of Tokyo Ghoul, there is this there is this very distinct definition of, racism against ghouls and racism against humans. Just because I'm a ghoul doesn't mean that I am evil. Or, humans are seen as justice because they want to get rid of the ghouls, but from the ghouls' perspective, the humans are seen as evil. So it's all about, the perspectives of who is right, who is the real justice, and who is the real evil. It's actually very interesting, and on top of that, they throw in a lot of psychological horror. This series, if I were to put Tokyo Ghoul as one genre, it would definitely fall into psychological horror, because there is a lot of psychological shit that happens, not only inside Kaneki's head, but also the other characters involved, and it makes for a very terrifying experience. Now, I have also read the first couple of volumes of the manga myself, way back when it first came out, and I must say, personally, now that I've read the first 3 or 4, I think it was up to the 4th volume I read, and I watched the entire anime series, I definitely have to say that the manga series was a little bit better, for a few reasons. One reason is that the anime did a lot of censoring, because, this is a psychological horror, just straight up horror series about humans eating other humans, or ghouls eating other humans. There is naturally going to be a lot of gore, and there is a lot of gore in this series. Now, the manga series didn't censor any of that stuff, because the manga series was originally intended for more adult audiences, but since Tokyo Ghoul was turned into an anime series and was aimed at a more universal, all ages, not really all ages, but they wanted to spread the marketing, I think, a little bit more for the age groups. They did a lot of unnecessary censoring, in my opinion. There were some parts which are yeah, I can see why you censored that, but you didn't have to censor that. It's not that bad. I've seen a hell of a lot worse in other horror anime series. Now, another thing that I want to complain about this series is the ending. Now, the ending, a lot of people were saying wow, that last episode of the anime series was absolutely action-packed, it was intense, and we were craving for more. But the problem is, it kind of just ended there. And, you know, I'm hoping they're going to bring out a season 2 for this, or like, you know, since the manga series is continuing on, and Tokyo Ghoul actually did relatively well, not only the manga, but also the anime series, I'm hoping there is going to be a season 2 for it. But if not, then we're kind of left on this huge cliffhanger that I don't want to give it away because my reviews have no spoilers, but, you know, it's a big turning point for the main character, and also for the other characters, so... You know, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen, but the problem is it just kind of ended there. Like, I would have definitely have liked to see this series be a 24 episode. I was hoping earlier on that it was going to be a 24 episode series, but it only ended up being a 12 episode series. Now, I heard there is going to be an OVA coming out for it as well. Not too sure. It would be better if they made a season 2 for it. But some positives I can say about this series, though, is that the level of psychological horror, not only the gore, I can definitely say that the gore, although the gore is very horror driven, you know, the gore makes it a very horror driven series. The thing that makes it the most horror driven is just the psychological torment of not only Kaneki, the main character, but the other characters as well. Like, Kaneki's, like, when you hear Kaneki screaming in pain, or like just people getting, you know, devoured or like eaten up, it sends shivers down your spine. Like, these voice actors really know how to make you feel terrified just from sound. Like, you don't even need visuals when it comes to the psychological part of Tokyo Ghoul. I think you don't even need the gore and it'll still be scary as shit. Like, the gore definitely helped, but the psychological aspects of it and the brilliant work done by the voice actors definitely makes this series so much scarier than most conventional psychological horror animes, in my opinion. Overall, guys, I give Tokyo Ghoul an 8.5 cat faces out of 10. It was pretty good, but like I said, there were a few parts that were, I think, unnecessary or were just lacking a little bit. I mean, there were I couldn't see any plot holes in the story, but since I am comparing it to the original manga series, I'd probably have to give it an 8.5. I would give the manga series probably close to a 9, just because it just covered up some of the misses that the anime unfortunately couldn't cover. Anyways, guys, what do you think about Tokyo Ghoul anime series? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you gonna watch it if you haven't? Are you not gonna watch it if you haven't? Yeah. Anyways, guys, leave all of that in the comments below. And also, make sure to give me some more suggestions on what series I should review next. It can be an anime series, manga series, visual novel, light novel. Anything goes. If you want me to review it, I'll try and do it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. As always, like and favorite if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more anime banter. See you guys in the next video of whatever I make. Keep watching anime. Johnny!